6, and 2, you shall also be guilty of an offense as stipulated under Section 27(1)(a)(1) and 27(1)(c)(2), respectively, of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, Cap 6, for which you shall be liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 200,000 shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months, or to both such fine and imprisonment. Given under my hand, for and on behalf of the Senate, this 13th day of March 2024. Signed by J.M. Nyegenye, CBS, Clerk of the Senate. Honorable Sige, I hope then that clarifies your issue. Proceed.
Thank you very much, Speaker, for giving us that clarification. Yes, you mentioned the 2 items that he was required to appear for and with, and one is his appointment letter, as I've heard correctly, and to confirm about the officers that have been spoken about here. Thank you very much.
Senator Christo. Senator Kavindu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When the witness was answering the question, he was asked by Senator Wambua, I think he contradicted himself, because when the lawyer was asking him questions, he said that he's aware of where his officers are all the time, every day. But this particular one, he said that he was not aware until when at the counter assembly. Can he clarify that, Mr. Speaker?
Proceed, witness.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to say that it's true, I'm aware all the time where my enforcement officers are. But in this particular case is an unusual one, whereby enforcement officers are mobilized, deployed, go and effect an arrest without any report to my office. And that is why when I learned of this, Honorable Speaker, I took an action of instructing my deputy to explain why this lapse of not reporting to my office. And the report that my deputy gave is that the sub-county administrator and the sub-county commander who are in charge of this operation failed to report, reason well known to them, and I have advised that action be taken against them.
Senator Katuri.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mine are just 2 simple questions. I want the witness to go on record. Mr. Witness, under whose command are the enforcement officers in Kisii County Government? And number 2, does the Deputy Governor have any mandate on deployment of these enforcement officers? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The county enforcement officers of the government of Kisii are under the command of the Director of Enforcement. And whether the Deputy Governor has the right to command enforcement officers is no.
Senator Kaduri.
The name, the specific name of the director.
Proceed, witness.
Honorable Speaker, the Director of Enforcement is the witness standing before this Senate, and I'm acting in that capacity. And my name is David Hagai Oyagi. I'm in charge of the enforcement officers.
Senator Wamatinga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Could the witness kindly tell us, before he became the deputy, what he was doing? And secondly, whether there's a routine duty roster? And thirdly, when there is a crisis, how they allocate the duties and who sits in that meeting? Thank you, Speaker.
Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, before I joined I resumed office of the Director of Enforcement. As the acting director, I was the deputy director, but in charge of the municipality. And about the deployment and how we react, normally in these operations, if there's an incident happening at the sub-county level, the person who's in charge of those officers is the sub-county enforcement commander, who reports to director's office directly through the deputy director of enforcement in charge of sub-counties. And once the office is aware, we take charge of that activity and we monitor closely so that we can be able to report accordingly.
Senator Manzo.
Now, in this particular activity, whereby there was an arrest and there was 20 officers, did you direct it? Did you sanction it?
Honorable Speaker, I want to respond by saying that this particular case or incident happening on 29th of December 2023, I didn't sanction it. I was not aware about it. Actually, as I've said in this house, is that I learned it at the assembly. And that's why when it came to my knowledge that one of the reasons that Honorable Deputy Governor is being impeached on is the issue of deployment of the 20 enforcement officers to arrest his brother.
Senator Boni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my clarification arises from the assertion by the counsel for the DG that the witness serves at the pleasure of the governor of Kisii. Mr. Speaker, the County Government Act, Section 35, gives the governor the responsibility to form and appoint, with the approval of the county assembly, the county executive committee. The same act, in section 59, gives the power of appointment of the rest of the staff to the county public service board, which appointed the witness. So, my clarification is, in view of this provision, is the counsel of the defendant going to be magnanimous enough to come and rescind that statement so that it is not in record that this witness serves at the pleasure of the governor of Kisii and that he is appearing this morning purely to canvass to be confirmed in his acting capacity? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Counsel for DJ.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the question and the fact that the witness acts in an acting capacity was the reason for the contention that he acted under at the pleasure, not at the direction, at the pleasure of the governor, who will ultimately, following directions from the County Public Service Board, be responsible ultimately to his final substantive appointment.
Very well. We will allow the witness to retire and now proceed with the defense of the Deputy Governor. Counsel for Deputy Governor, it is now your time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Our first witness is Mr. Joseph Misati.
Mr. Speaker, sir, do I proceed or I hold on?
Now, counsel for the deputy governor, you have 4 hours to put your defense. Depending on how many witnesses you intend to call, you need them to work within those 4 hours. And we are going to adjourn at exactly 1 p.m. to reconvene at 2:30. So kindly have that in mind, that you have 4 hours within which to put your case forth. Proceed.
Before my time starts running, Mr.
It's already
Speaker,
running.
Could I request for 2 accommodations, Mr. Speaker, sir? You recall yesterday when we dealt with the first witness, we had a situation where the time tended to go out of hand because there was no limitation, both in terms of evidence in chief and cross-examination. Subsequently, we had a situation where you required of us to declare how much time we need in evidence in chief and cross-examination. And I would request that we adopt the same approach so that my colleagues for the county do not squander my time in the course of cross-examination.
Now, counsel, if we may adopt we've just had this witness who just retired. If you can be able to just adopt the time indication as we've observed with this witness, I think that would be a good guiding principle.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Examination took 20 minutes, cross-examination 15 minutes, re-examination 10 minutes.
This witness is fairly substantive. I intend to use 30 minutes, but I will manage my time.
So then, counsel, let's agree this way, that your examination, evidence in chief, you'll do 30 minutes.
Yes, yes.
Cross-examination then will take 15 minutes, re-examination 10 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, if you may allow me, because you've given directions as to cross-examination. And yesterday, when we were dealing with the crucial witness, my learned senior, Mr. Keegan, took approximately 1 hour, 20 minutes with the key witness. We may not be much interested with the witness that he has now just subpoenaed, but when it comes to the real culprit, we would request the Senate to relax the rules so that we are able to effectively bring out the fictitious story.
Let's cross the bridge when we get there.
Number 2, Mr. Speaker, sir, perhaps our senior needs to put on record his appearance so that we may not have strangers.
Mr. Speaker, sir, my name is Katwa Keegan, and the witness I'm calling is Mr. Misati, assisted by my office assistant, Mr. Sagini. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I thought you would require of my colleague to withdraw the use of the word culprit.
That is unparliamentary, and therefore I order that to be expunged from the record.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and he has whispered an apology to me, and I accept it.
The counsel for the county assembly was alleging a presence of a stranger in the representation.
May I explain, Mr. Speaker, sir?
Counsel for the county assembly, are you now comfortable?
Well, to the best of our remembrance is that Mr. Katwa Keegan did indicate his appearance yesterday, and therefore we expect and anticipate that the same shall not be adjusted to suit his circumstances.
Proceed, counsel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
I, Joseph Doyle Misati, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before the Senate in respect of the matters before the Senate shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
We proceed directly. Could you tell for the record your full name? Oh, you've given the full names. What do you do for a living?
Me, I am a retired civil servant, and for my living, I've got some small businesses, and I have some dairy cows.
So you have dairy cows. Your son yesterday said you also run an M-Pesa business?
That's it. That's why I've said that I've got small businesses, including M-Pesa.
Okay, I'll just ask so that the Senate has the benefit of understanding you. How old are you, if you don't mind?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I am 68 years old.
And you said you're a retired civil servant. What were you doing before your retirement?
Pardon?
What were you doing before your retirement in civil service?
Me, in the civil service, I was a livestock officer in veterinary section.
Okay, and lastly, do you have any religious affiliation and any church standing?
And?
Do you have any religious affiliation and do you enjoy any office in church, if you do?
Mr. Speaker, sir, by religion, I am a Catholic, and even when I was in Form 1, I tried to go to Rakwaro Seminary, where I intended to be a priest, but I fell on the way.
Okay, and so you are a Catholic as we speak now?
Right.
Okay. And Dennis, who was a witness yesterday, is your son, is it true?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And I would like you to be shown the honorable members, the Deputy Governor's defense, page 59 to 62. I would like you to be shown that page 59 to 62. Do you have it? Could you confirm that is the statement that you made in respect to this case?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Now, do you know Dr. Monda?
Mr. Speaker, sir, very well.
You know him. How do you know him?
His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Kisii County, Dr. Robert Onzare-Munda, we have known each other more than 32 years.
You have been friends for over 32 years.
Yeah.
And apart from being friends, have you stated in your affidavit that you worked together also at various points in your civil service?
Mr. Speaker, sir, yes.
You've worked together. Now I'd like to move on because of time, and before we go into the details, yes, you are aware, you know what the Dr. Monda, your friend, has been accused of, being that he received a bribe from your son and that he threatened your son. You're aware of those allegations?
The allegation, I don't, yes.
You are aware?
Yes, I do.
You also heard what your son said in testimony, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so let's start with the first thing that your son admitted. Is it true that indeed, throughout the issues that this Senate is going to consider, whenever your son needed anything, he would tell you and then you would tell the Deputy Governor?
No, please.
Did the Deputy Governor have a direct conversation with Dennis?
Mr. Speaker, sir, no.
There's no point at which the two of them spoke directly to each other, isn't it?
It's me who do direct communication to His Excellency, the Deputy Governor.
Okay. And number two, he also said that it is true that the two of you, having been friends, were exchanging favors in terms of money, stocks, and goodwill between the families. Is that correct? Over the 32 years?
Mr. Speaker, sir, correct.
Okay. He also said that he relocated from Nairobi to Kisii, to your home state. Is that correct? At a certain point in the year 2023?
If I may explain, I say no. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is me who reallocated my son to move from Nairobi to homeland Kisii.
Yes, so that's what I was asking you. So basically, it is true that he moved from Nairobi to Kisii sometime in the year 2023, isn't it?
Somewhere 2023, and he came alone without his wife.
Okay. And it is also true, as he says, that you assisted him to relocate?
It is me who assisted him.
To relocate?
Yeah.
How did you assist him?
After he said he had been staying in Nairobi for more than 13 years, and there was little communication, me and my son. Now I decided, because I'm aging, I tried now to see how I can bring all my children together. Then I made an effort to look for him. Then somewhere between April and May, between April and May, I called him back to home.
Mr. Misati, just let me manage, because of time, let me just manage what you're saying. So basically it was, whose idea was it for him to relocate?
Pardon?
Whose idea? Was it your idea, or?
It was my idea, Mr. Speaker,
It was your idea, and you facilitated his relocation?
Correct.
Okay, let's move on then. Now, he says that your testimony, both at the assembly and your testimony today, which is captured in your statement, is meant to cause him to lose his money. What do you have to say about that?
About what?
That you want him to lose, what you're doing is to frustrate him getting back his money. What do you have to say about that?
That one, because I've not reached there, I don't know which money.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, then you want us to deal with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll change my approach, then we come back. Let's then talk about the real issue that we are here about. Is it true that a certain sum of money was paid out to Dr. Monda on the 28th of May, 2023?
Mr. Speaker, yes.
It is true. Could you tell this Senate, this Honorable Senate, how that money was remitted?
Mr. Speaker, sir, on 28th of May, 2023, as usual and as friends, it is me who made appointment to see His Excellency the Deputy Governor at his home. And when I went with my 3 sons to his home. And as we were seated, I had some social discussions with His Excellency the Deputy Governor about 20 meters from where I left my sons. That's the time the TG told me that he had given me money somewhere in October, November 2022 after the elections, 500 shillings. Now, he asked me whether I'm in the position to refund his money. And in that connection, I told him, yes, I can try to refund the money. Then from my joint account with my wife, I transferred money from my account to His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, 73 times, and then 41,000, making 251. Now, because as we were discussing, he told me that he needs some money in cash. Then I told him now, because I don't have money in cash, what I'll do is to instruct my wife so that he can send money to my son, Dennis. And my wife did that by sending 250,000 in that process to go on to withdraw in the nearest market. But when we tried to get that money, it was late. And there was no shop which had that float. Therefore, I instructed my son to transfer that money to his deputy governor, to His Excellency the Deputy Governor, Dr. Monda.
Okay. So I would like us to look at your statement and just to take the honorable senators through the payments, and I would like you to go to page 60, paragraph 11 of your statement, and I would like to correlate that with page 65 to 66. Page 11 correlated with page 65 to 66. Are you at page 65? Okay, in paragraph 11, you're saying that I therefore refunded by paying 251 directly from my cooperative bank. You can see that at paragraph 11?
Yes, okay. Mr. Speaker.
And then, so you paid 70,000 3 times and 41,000. I would like us to go to page 65. Are you at page 65?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Could you confirm at page 65 that the remittances of 70,000 is reflected 3 times there?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And I want you to turn over to page 66. Is it true that 41,000 is shown there?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And could you confirm that this is money that was pulled out of your account, the joint account of yourself and your wife, directly to the M-Pesa account of Dr. Monda?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. And the name of the account is Joseph D. Misati and Anna N. Misati, isn't it?
Correct, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Now let's move on to paragraph 12. At paragraph 12, you said, I thereafter asked my wife to remit the balance of 249,000. I instructed her to remit the amount to my son Dennis. You can see that?
Correct, Mr. Speaker.
I would like to take you to page 75. (75 to 88), and I want us to go specifically to page 87. Are you at page 87? Your wife's M-Pesa statement is page 75 to 88, honorable members, the DG's bundle. And I would like you to go to page 88 particularly. Are you there?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Could you confirm that between 2001 and 1941, between the hours 1944 and 2001, your wife remitted the sum of 50,000, 50,000, and 150,000 to Dennis Misati as he appears on the face of that M-Pesa?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. And that constitutes a total of how much?
250,000, Mr. Speaker.
250,000. Now, what was the purpose of this remittance of the money?
The purpose of this remittance to my son, Dennis.
Sorry, no, I mean, so we've seen you pulled out 250 from your cooperative account, yes, and another 250 from your wife through Dennis, isn't it?
That's correct.
And then you sent to Dr. Monda, isn't it?
I instructed my son to send.
That's okay. So you sent it to Dr. Monda, this total of 500, isn't it?
Correct, Mr.
What
Speaker.
were you giving this 500,000 to Dr. Monda for? Why? What?
It was a refund, Mr. Speaker, sir. The money which he gave me in November, October 2022.
So it was a refund.
Yeah.
Number two, whose money was this?
The money was mine.
It was
ours.
Sorry?
It was ours.
What does ours mean? Who and who?
I mean me and my wife.
It was yours, you and your wife?
Yeah.
Was Dennis part of the ownership of that money, the 500,000?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay. Dennis says that he had given you this money and the two of you were holding this money on his behalf and that he gave you in cash. Is that true?
It's untrue, Mr. Speaker, sir.
It's not true that he had given you any money. Yeah. It is not true that he had given you any money.
It's not true that he gave me any money.
Okay. And this money was yours with your wife?
Correct, Mr. Speaker,
okay.
sir.
Now, and your position is that it was a refund. Was it a bribe?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
It was a refund, not a bribe.
Yeah, so it was a refund.
Okay. Now, let's just digress a little before we come back to the 300,000. You said, were you seated first of all, you said you went with how many sons?
3.
Was it 3 or 4 sons?
Okay. No, you see now I'm not counting the driver.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So how many were you? How many sons did you go with?
4.
4 sons. And yourself. You were 5 people in Deputy Governor's house.
Correct, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Who initiated the idea of going to visit the governor?
Mr. Speaker, sir, it's me.
It is you who said, how did you initiate it?
This is not the first time if I need to.
Because of time, just go answer my question directly.
Pardon?
Just answer my question directly. How was the idea of going to visit the governor?
Through a call.
By who?
By me.
To who?
To His Excellency, the Deputy Governor.
So it is you who requested to go and see him?
Correct.
And when your son says in his statement and in his affidavit that it is the Deputy Governor who summoned you, is that correct?
No,
that's
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay, let's move on. Now, you said, were you then 5 people seated together, 6 people, you, Deputy Governor, and your 4 sons, were you seated together when this money is changing hands?
No, we were not seated together, and I think I'm repeating that after we entered his house, me and His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, His Excellency, Dr. Robert Monda, we moved aside about 20 meters to have our own social discussions.
So you went aside, the 2 of you?
Correct.
And the boys remained 20 meters away?
That is it.
Did they participate in your conversation?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And so when Denny says they sat far away from you and that they did not participate in your conversation, that is true?
That is true.
Okay. Now, then at paragraph 14, it is said that you received, there is another 300,000 that was given to the Deputy Governor, paragraph 14. It is said, Denny says there was another 300,000 that was given in cash. What do you have to say in respect to that 300,000?
Mr. Speaker, sir, that's untrue, because if you look at my balance in the cooperative bank, I had more money if I were to give the 800 alleged.
I just want you to answer directly. Denny says you and him walked to the Deputy Governor's office at the stadium and handed over 300,000 in cash. That's what Denny says. You've seen that, isn't it?
Yes.
And my question is that true?
Untrue, Mr. Speaker, sir.
It's not true?
It's not true.
Okay. Did you ever give the Deputy Governor any 300,000 over and above the 500? Is there any other, apart from the 500 that we've seen, is there another 300,000 that you gave him?
There is no anyway. I've given you the 300,000.
As Denny says, okay. Now, I would like to move on to, at paragraph 16 to 17, it is said that this issue has been reported to EACC. You are aware of that contention that it has been reported to EACC, isn't it?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
You're not aware?
I'm not aware.
But you are aware that Denny says he has reported to EACC?
Yeah, I have heard.
You've heard from Dennis?
Yeah.
Now, the bank statement, the bank account from which the money was drawn is your cooperative bank account and your wife's M-Pesa account, isn't it?
That's it.
Has EACC summoned you to record a statement on that issue?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
They haven't, up to today?
Up to today.
Has your wife been summoned on this issue?
No, please.
Okay. Now, it is said also that Dennis wrote a demand letter for the payment. You saw that claim by Dennis, isn't it? a demand letter?
I've not seen that letter.
Just a minute. You are aware that Dennis says he wrote a demand letter to the deputy governor saying, give me back my 800,000. You saw that claim by Dennis, isn't it?
That claim, yes.
You saw that.
Yeah.
Is it true that you have ever seen a demand letter from Dennis?
Pardon?
Have you seen any letter demanding
No,
return?
Mr. Speaker, sir.
You've not seen. It is said also by Dennis that threats were made at him. Dennis says, the deputy governor threatened me. You've seen that?
I have not seen that, Mr. Speaker.
And I'm saying, you are aware that Dennis says that you threatened him.
Me? I threatened him?
No.
Or who?
So Dennis says that the deputy governor threatened him, threatened Dennis.
No, please.
No, I'm saying, are you aware of that claim by Dennis?
I'm aware.
You are aware?
Yes, please.
Now, are you aware of any threat emanating from the deputy governor to Dennis?
No, please.
Okay. Now, he says that threat was communicated to you, that the deputy governor told you, go and tell Dennis to keep away, or because he's trying to climb a mountain he cannot climb. That's what he says, the words he used. Were you sent by the deputy governor at any time to communicate any threat to Dennis?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So when Dennis says the deputy governor sent you, your position is that you were never sent with any such threat?
I've never, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Then it is also said that Dennis sold a saloon. Are you aware of any saloon that Dennis had and or sold?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
You are not aware. Now, because of time, I'll just be brief on this other issue of other assistance. Is it, you heard Dennis say that you have been assisting each other for long, and you've just already admitted that, isn't it?
Correct, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Could you confirm that at paragraph 6 of your affidavit, you said how you have been consoling each other when you are bereaved together with the deputy governor? I'm just referring to the paragraph for the benefit of the honorable senators.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And that specifically, Dr. Monda was there when you lost your mother, and you are there for him when he lost his daughter. You lost your mother in the year 2001, and he lost his daughter in 2018, and the two of you were together.
That's correct, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. At page, and you also borrowed each other acrobat stock as stated in paragraph 5, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And then at page 67 of your bundle, at paragraph 24, you said that in the month of January 2024, over time, you've borrowed a total sum of 600,000 from Dr. Monda for various purposes.
Yeah, about 600,000 for my personal use.
And that you've captured at page 68, 71, and 70, the various amounts.
Correct.
Okay. And then at page 117A, you've shown there's another amount of 50,000. Could you go to 117? So the one we were just talking about at page 68, 71, and 70 was in the month of January 2024, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then at page 117A, you received another 50,000. Whom did you receive that 50,000 from?
His Excellency, the Baron?
Is it true that you received a sum of 50,000 in the year 2014 from Joyce Monda?
Yes, Your Excellency.
And who is Joyce Monda?
Joyce Monda.
Actually, Joyce Onsare, let's say.
Joyce Onsare.
Yes, who is she?
Is the wife of the Deputy Governor of Kisii.
Okay. And what was the basis of this money? What was it?
This is a usual transactions we have been making by borrowing, refunding, receiving, and refunding.
Okay. Lastly, in terms of the favors you give each other, I would like you to look at page 108 to 117. Page 108 to 117 is the bank statement of one Leah Onsare. Can you see that?
Yes.
Page 108 to 117. Who is Leah Onsare?
Leah Onsare
Leah Nyanjera Onsare, who is she?
Leah Nyanjera Onsare is the daughter of His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Kisii.
And is it at page 111, there is a sum of 200,000 from Joseph Misati and Anna. That is your joint account. There is money from, there is Joseph Misati, Anna. You can see that?
Yes.
200,000.
Mr. Speaker, yes.
Yes. Could you tell the court what was happening, sorry, the Senate, what was happening there?
This money, the DG, he instructed me to send this man to his daughter.
Why?
As usual, we have been assisting each other.
Yes.
Then that day after, she was to refund.
Sorry? She was to refund?
Correct.
Who needed the money?
According to this, it is I was instructed by the DG.
Yes.
To send money to his daughter.
Who needed the money? Was it the DG or what is the position?
The money was needed by his daughter.
So the daughter needed money, and why wasn't the DG sending the money to his daughter?
That one I cannot explain.
You can't explain?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Mr. Misati, just look at me. Did you see the Deputy Governor instructed you? Was he giving you instructions or he was requesting you?
Okay, you know English. He requested me.
So he wasn't instructing you, he
Not
was
instructing,
requesting.
please.
Okay. And lastly, I now was told I have 5 minutes. Lastly, you said that your son said you were lying. Unasema uongo ukikuja hapa. What do you have to say about that you are lying?
That's, I can say
Yes.
that's not true.
You're
Because,
not lying.
No, I love all my sons.
Yes.
I have 6 sons in total.
Yes.
And all of them except one,
Yes.
they have gone through, they are graduates, others have done masters.
All your children are graduates, others are postgraduate already.
Correct.
Masters. And you love all of them.
I love them equally. That's
And
why you can also establish this.
Yes.
That's why I usually, when I want to go to some place, they accompany me.
They take you with them because you are munapendana.
That's it.
And you relocated Dennis Y from Nairobi?
And I think if I may repeat that if when somebody is going
Okay,
to...
I am out of time. I just want to say...
Okay, I
was
want
it
them
out
just
of
to be near me.
Yes.
Yes.
Was it out of a desire to punish him or out of affection that you needed to take care of his welfare?
I wanted just to come near me and get some blessings before...
Okay. To take blessings? Yeah. Before what again?
No, that one is unlimited.
You want to withdraw that?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about appearing here with your son before a national senate to banter words with him? How do you feel?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm really very sad.
You're very sad.
Very sad because this is my son and it's me who paid his school fees to his daughter who's schooling at St. Mary's Nyabururu boarding.
So you take care of the fees for his daughter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is there any relationship between the paying of fees for his daughter and the 600 you borrowed from Dr. Monda in January 2024?
The 600 which His Excellency the Deputy Governor gave me in January in various dates, some of the money I used to pay school fees for my granddaughters, including the Dennis's daughter.
Okay.
Only, you can allow me, only after paying school fees, my son disappeared from my home.
Okay, so your son has disappeared. My time has gone out, so I just want to hand you over for cross-examination. But before I do that, could you confirm, even after this session, do you still love your son?
Aaron?
Do you still love him, notwithstanding these proceedings?
That is my son. I love him.
Yes.
And I want him to come back with his wife.
Yes. And they said his wife had a miscarriage. Are you aware of that?
You know, some things like that one, I cannot say because I can say no.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's only that she told me that she was sick.
Yes.
And then I took her to the hospital and I used money to
So
treat her.
you relocated him from Nairobi, you paid for his daughter, you took care of his wife.
Correct.
And you're prepared to continue doing that?
Always.
Okay. And are you happy to have your sons, including Dennis?
That's my son, and I'm very happy because
about that.
it's only that yesterday when I met him, he knows me.
Okay, I'm handing you over, but it is lucky that you didn't become a priest, isn't it? Then you wouldn't have Dennis and the others.
Pardon?
I'm told that my time is up. You will be asked a couple of questions by my colleague. They might not be as polite as I am, but just be strong.
Honorable Senators, let us now have the council representing the County Assembly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. It's always a pleasure to listen to my senior, Mr.
And
Kigen.
council, you have 15 minutes.
Yes, Mr. Mutuma will take the witness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I want to assure my learned friend, I'll be very kind to Mr. Misati. I respect him and I will accord him that respect. Thank you. Mr. Misati, good morning.
Morning to you.
I will continue from where my learned friend has left. You confirmed that you are aware that the wife to Dennis got sick at some moment and you intervened by taking her to hospital.
I've said yes.
When was that?
I cannot recall the date, Mr. Speaker, sir. But it was
this year or last year?
Somewhere June.
Somewhere June?
Yeah.
That was last year? Last year in June?
2023.
2023. And that is the time when the announcement was made on the filling of the recruitment at the Guasco company, isn't it?
No, please.
Is it after or before?
It is after.
After, thank you. You have also said that you have been long-term friends with the deputy governor, and that is very clear from your transactions. That 2 years you said, right?
Correct, Mr. Speaker, sir.
You have been colleagues and he has been your boss and you under him in the veterinary department, correct?
That is true, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And you continued and extended that friendship beyond retirement?
Even up to now?
Even up to now. You would describe that friendship to be very tight and very close, isn't it?
That's one. It's very relative.
But how would you describe it? He's your friend.
Friend?
That friendship is close and tight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very tight. You would not want then to witness your tight, close friend going down through an impeachment process, would
That's
you?
very true.
Would you want to see your close, tight friend of that 2 years go down through an impeachment process? Would you like to see that?
He's a friend, of course, and anything which is against him, I will never wish that.
Thank you. So then you will do whatever is it within your powers to defend and protect him when he's faced with challenges, like he has stood up for you previously.
But not through instructions.
Not through instructions.
Yeah.
But he is your friend and that's something you would willingly do.
It's a willing behavior.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You have also said that, and while I'm still at that, you have confirmed in your affidavit appearing at page 59 of the DG's response that you have been asking favors from each other, including seeking job opportunities for your children. Is that correct?
Like any other person.
But in this case, we are talking about you, not any other person.
That's correct.
That's correct. So you've been seeking those favors?
Not always.
Not always.
Yeah.
Specifically, in this case, you have deponed on affidavit that you did approach the deputy governor and ask him to assist in the employment of your son, Dennis Mokaya. That is your evidence, correct?
That's true.
That is true.
Yes.
So you're not disputing that you approached him and he promised to assist.
I cannot dispute that one, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Which position were you asking him to assist in the recruitment?
Okay, somewhere in April 2023, there was an advert at Wasco, of which I saw it through the newspapers. And because I was trying to bring my son back home, and then I informed my son to go through the website and look for the application.
So it was you who approached your son and notified him of a possible vacancy at Guasco?
It is me who informed my son.
Thank you. And subsequently, you asked the deputy governor before shortlisting to assist in that recruitment?
No, please. Me, I went to a governor's place after the interview was done.
After the interview was done, correct, at whatever time. Now, the deputy governor of Kisii does not sit in the interviewing panel of Guasco, does he?
Okay, that one.
It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no. Does he or does he not sit in the recruitment panel of Guasco? Yes or no?
He doesn't.
He doesn't. Yeah. How was the deputy governor supposed to assist in the recruitment of your son if he does not sit in that panel?
By that, Mr. Speaker, sir, in any case, when you are having some social discussion, there are some things you pass through your friend.
I am asking you a very simple question. How was the deputy governor supposed to assist in the recruitment for an office he is not in charge of recruitment? How was he supposed to assist? It's a very simple question. How was he supposed to assist?
You know, what I can repeat is that when you have got something and you have some social discussions with your friend, you just mention by the way.
You were inviting the deputy governor to use his power and influence to secure that job, isn't it? As the deputy governor of Kisii.
That one I never influenced.
That is not what I'm asking. The governor was supposed to use his position as the deputy governor to assist in the recruitment, isn't it?
That one I can say yes or no.
It cannot be both, Mr. Witness. We cannot have two
witness, just give the correct position. What is your position on the questions that you are being asked? These are very straight questions you are asked anyway.
He was supposed to use his position to assist the recruitment of your son as your friend, isn't it?
He was not to use his position, but he was to use as a friend, not a position of a deputy governor.
But he was supposed to ensure that happens.
That one I cannot say because he never got the job.
Never got. But suppose he got the job. I'm talking about your request. What was he supposed to do in your understanding to make sure that that job was secured?
What he was to do, that one I cannot tell.
But he was supposed to pull some strings and ensure that happens.
In any way, the way it was to use, I cannot tell the House.
But somehow he was supposed to use some means to have that request.
If he was to use his way or strength or his position, I would have gotten that position.
Thank you. Mr. Mistat, then, if the deputy governor was to intervene in that process of recruitment, would that process be competitive, fair, and just, or it would have been as a result of influence from his position as the deputy governor?
What we are talking now is what happened.
Pardon?
What we are talking now, Mr. Speaker, sir, is what happened.
Yes.
And if the position was competitive and my son was not taken, therefore, he never qualified.
But the deputy governor was meant to influence the outcome based on your request, because you did not want any other person to get that job but your son, isn't it?
But you know, influence very relative, Mr. Speaker, sir. I can say that
What is your point of order, Senator Sifuna?
Chair, I think you need to remind the witness that he is under oath and his responsibility to answer truthfully and not be evasive or argumentative in his answers. Because I'm getting very frustrated listening to the answers. I am unable to discern the answers that are coming from the witness.
Okay, Senator Sifuna, from where I sit, you know, I cannot be able to tell whether it is truthful or not, but he should.
That's what I'm saying.
What he should do is to answer specific questions as they are.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Some
what
of
I'm
the
saying,
questions
Speaker.
are just a yes or no.
Correct.
But from where I sit, I cannot be able to tell whether it is truthful or not. The judges
Speaker,
in this room will be able to
Speaker,
determine that.
fortunately for me, you know I'm seated here as a judge.
I have heard you, Senator Sifuna.
Yes, please let him just answer the question.
I don't want to open that route. I've ruled that the witness should answer questions directly as he is asked. Let us not go into that route of more point of orders, kindly, honorable senators.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Witness, when you approached your friend of that 2 years, the Deputy Governor of Kisii, on this request, what was his response?
Mr. Speaker, sir, as I've mentioned earlier, when I went to his home, it's only that we discussed some social discussions, including looking for employment opportunities of education.
Mr. Witness, my question is specifically, when you made the request for Dennis Mokaya to be employed at Guasco as the commercial manager, what was the response of the Deputy Governor? It's a very clear question, please avoid stories.
Okay, when I mentioned, he just told me that there are some factors which follow for employment, and if he has done the interview and he qualifies according to what the Board of Management of Guasco, he will be called.
Did he promise to assist or not?
He never promised that he was to assist me.
Let us proceed. You have alleged that on 28th of May, you and Dennis, together with your other sons, visited the Deputy Governor's home, correct?
Mr. Speaker, yes.
It was not usual for you and your sons to visit the Deputy Governor. It doesn't happen occasionally, isn't it?
It is usual.
When was the last time you and your sons visited the Deputy Governor?
Okay.
Specifically Dennis,
yes.
with Dennis.
Okay, Dennis, I told you that he has been away for the last 13 years.
Correct.
Now, as he came back, I want just to show him the love I own towards him. In any function I was going, I want to go with him with others.
That was not a function, Mr. Joseph. It was a visit. Was it a function?
It's a feast. A function, a feast, and anything like that.
What was the function about?
A function can be a funeral.
I'm asking this specific one on 28th. Was it a funeral?
No, it was a feast.
Was it a wedding?
It was a feast.
What kind of a feast was it?
Social feast.
How many other people in attendance, apart from you and your sons?
No, there were other feasters who were in a DG's office, house.
You have not mentioned that in your affidavit.
But those ones were of their own company. I cannot mention because I never knew their names.
You also stated that on that very day, you had a discussion with the Deputy Governor, and the boys, making reference to your sons, sat at a distance, and you engaged the Deputy Governor secretly, correct?
That is true, Mr. Speaker, sir.
You also stated that you sent some money from, or rather money was sent from your cooperative account to the Deputy Governor's mobile number. How much was that amount? The one that was sent directly from your account to the Deputy Governor's phone.
Mr. Speaker, sir, 251,000.
251,000.
Yeah.
At that time, your account still had money. A balance of 1.3 million, correct?
Correct.
What was the essence of then requesting your wife to send money directly to Dennis, for Dennis to transmit to the deputy governor, when you would have done that directly from your cooperative account if it was a debt?
Mr. Speaker, sir, it was for my financial management.
Your financial management?
Yes.
You also stated in your affidavit that, and I want to refer you to paragraph 12 and kindly read that paragraph. Page 60, Honorable Senators, at the DG's response. This is what you stated under oath. Paragraph 12, kindly read, Mr. Joseph, and save our time.
I then asked my wife to remit the balance of 249,000. I instructed her to remit the amount to my son, Dennis Misati, for him to pay as we sat together. My wife then sent 250,000 to my son, Dennis Misati, on the same date by remitting remittances of 50,000, 50,000 again, and 150,000, making a total of 250,000.
Proceed to 13.
Then I then instructed my son to remit that's an error there, 249,000 to His Excellency the Robert Monda, which he did. The balance of 1,000 partly to cover transaction charges.
There is no mention whatsoever in your affidavit on oath, Mr. Joseph, that that money was first sent to your son to go and withdraw and bring it in cash. That is not stated in this affidavit, is it? You instructed your son specifically to send the money to the deputy governor. That is your statement on oath, isn't it?
That is, Mr. Speaker, sir.
That is your statement on oath, yes or no?
No.
That is what you have just read, Mr. Joseph, and there's a reason why I made you to read. This is what you stated specifically under oath when you had the time to prepare this statement. Isn't it what you stated on oath?
Yes, this is what I stated, but...
Thank you. You have answered the question. This is what you stated.
Correct.
You have now come to the Senate and you're changing that statement.
I'm not changing. It's after the discussion when we are with His Excellency the Deputy Governor that he needed some cash.
Mr. Misati,
correct.
That discussion had taken place by the time you were putting this affidavit into writing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that fact was available to you when you were writing this affidavit. Mr. Speaker, sir, kindly, may I have an additional 5 minutes? With
Council,
much humility,
this communication was well put before we started this witness. And you are aware that still we are challenged by time.
5 more minutes, I really beg.
The former chair was here and done a very good communication, and I don't want to change the rules of the game midway.
Mr. Speaker,
maybe
sir,
1 minute as you wind up.
Kindly 5, because this has been a difficult witness to answer your question.
2 minutes, Council. 2 minutes only.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Now, you had that information by the time you were reducing it into an affidavit, isn't it? You had that information that the deputy governor had requested for cash and not through an M-Pesa. That information was with you when you were writing this affidavit.
It was, but...
Thank you. That's the answer I wanted. Yet you did not reduce it into writing. You are telling us for the first time today at the Senate, isn't it? Today is the first time you're making that allegation at the Senate. That is a very simple question, isn't it?
Correct.
Thank you. You also stated that you were in the company of your other sons, and one of them is your driver, correct?
That is it, Mr. Speaker, sir.
What is the name of your son who is also your driver?
Jared Misati.
That is the person who runs your errands and is very close to you because he's always with you, we presume, as your driver, isn't it?
That's very untrue.
He's always with you as your driver.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I think he's lying.
I am asking a question. How would I be lying? I am not giving evidence. Are you telling us that your own son who is your driver is not your close friend and you're not with him most of the times as you make your movements?
Okay, Mr. Speaker, sir,
Is that yes or it's a yes or no?
But I've got some bit of explanation before I say yes or no.
Must give a yes or no, then I will decide whether to allow you to explain or not.
Can you repeat your question?
I am asking, most of the times, this son you have with your driver is with you and runs errands with you. True or false? Correct?
No, that's not true.
Mr. Witness, is there a place you go without him as your driver? You do not drive yourself, he drives you.
Okay. Everywhere I go, because I don't have any other person to drive me, my son, who is at home and who is yet to be employed, and who is older than Dennis, he always takes me where I want to go.
That's what you should have said from the very beginning. Thank you.
Council, your 2 minutes are over.
Thank you. The very last one.
No, no, Council, now
just on that issue, I was building up on that issue.
You are abusing my magnanimity. Kindly, let us get the other council.
There will be a lot of prejudice on my part if I do not conclude on that issue. Mr. Speaker, you will note that this has been a very difficult...
It is up to you to utilize the 2 minutes that I give you.
Thank you.
You know, if you keep on asking for more time and I've directed you what to do, why don't you shoot your questions that we want to achieve?
The problem, Mr. Speaker,
I think, honorable senators, if the witness has those weaknesses, you are the people to determine this case. So honorable senators, I don't want you to direct the witness on what to say or not know what to say. And please avoid please exchanging with the chair, Minority Leader. Let us just give me time to manage this process. This is not the issue of which side or what. Please, I beg you. Let me have the other counsel.
Mr. Speaker, sir, if you may allow me, as the lead counsel, the defense still has 6 more witnesses. The rest of the witnesses, time has been allocated 15 minutes each. We will sacrifice one witness, we will not cross-examine him, and then we allocate that time to this witness, the 15 minutes. We will not cross-examine one of the MCAs, so that we are able to do justice to this case through this witness. That's the compromise we shall make.
Can you give me the name of the member of County Assembly that you want to see in the 15 minutes for record purposes?
Mr. Speaker, sir, in place of Thomas Obare Nyabaro, we will not cross-examine that witness. We will equally not cross-examine Amos Obegi Oderi. So we'll have 30 minutes extra for this witness. We shall allocate 15 minutes to this one and 15 minutes to the Deputy Governor. Post-trading.
Yes, I will give you 15 minutes for the first one. For Thomas, I place 15 minutes, strictly 15 minutes, Council.
We are most obliged.
No addition, no subtraction.
It's good horse trading.
Maybe you can use less, but you can't use more than 15 minutes.
Thank you.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. You notice that this is a key witness that needs to be thoroughly cross-examined. Mr. Misati.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
You have confirmed that your son with your driver is mostly with you when you are running your errands, correct?
Running my what?
Errands. When you are going about your businesses, he's the one who is close to you, he's the one who is at home, he's your driver, correct?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Why was it then important for you to send money to Dennis, who is not that close to you, than use your own driver who had a car to go and withdraw that money and bring back?
Mr. Speaker, sir, because the Deputy Governor, His Excellency, Dr. Robert Monda, in our discussion, he said that he needs some cash instead of going to M-Pesa. That is the time I decided that the money was to remit it to a younger person who will be able to run quickly to the...
Mr. Witness, could your son run faster than your car that is being driven by your own son?
But, Mr.
Is that
Speaker,
what you're telling these senators?
Mr. Speaker,
that
sir,
indeed Dennis was capable of running faster than a driver with a car?
Mr. Speaker, sir, as we have said that I've used Charat Misati to be my driver, and that's indicating he's the most trusted to me. In terms of management, I wanted also to show my son, Dennis Misati, that I love him through sending that money to also act on that.
Thank you. That has been noted. You have also claimed at paragraph 24, honorable senators appearing at page 61, that the amount of money that you sent to Dr. Monda was part of the 600,000 that he had lent you, correct? At paragraph 24.
Baron?
You have alleged at paragraph 24 that previously you had received 600,000 from Dr. Monda, correct?
That's in January.
That's in January?
Yes.
And you're claiming that part of that money went to pay school fees for Dennis's child, correct?
Among other expenses.
How much money did you spend as school fees to the child of Dennis Mokaya?
Ms. Speaker, sir.
How much money did you? It's a very straightforward.
60,000 shillings.
60,000 shillings.
Yeah.
And you confirm that it is you who paid that amount directly from your own affidavit?
No.
That is what you state. Can you read that paragraph again? The last sentence, please, and save our time. The amounts were partly, proceed from there. 24.
The amounts were partly used to help my son Dennis, and the special fees.
Proceed.
Fees for his child that I personally paid.
Thank you. You personally paid that amount, isn't it?
Correct.
Which account did you pay to? What was the mode of payment? And do you have evidence of payment of that amount?
Here, Mr. Speaker, sir, payment, it looks relative. It's only that the money originated from me, and I gave...
Mr. Misati, I only have 15 minutes and I want to utilize that very effectively. I am asking you a very specific question. To what account did you pay? The school's account, what mode, and where is the evidence? It's a very straightforward. Please do not bring stories. We do not have time for that.
The money of the 60,000 plus other monies which I paid for my...
We are specific on the 60,000 paid personally by you to the school.
The money of 60,000 paid to pay school fees of my granddaughter, I gave it to one of my sons, including other money to one to pay the account.
Mr. Misati, you've just read to us paragraph 24, that you personally paid. Isn't that what you read? On oath.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
No. Kindly save our time, Mr. Misati. Isn't that what you read? That you personally paid 60,000?
Personally paid, it's very relative also, Mr. Speaker, sir. But not to indicate where I put the money. I gave the money, and my son took it to the bank, including other...
Thank you. I urge the House to take note of the conduct of the witness and allow me to proceed. What is the name of your granddaughter?
Zelda Kwamboka Mukaya.
How old is she?
She's, I think, 13 years.
Where is she currently?
It's me who took her to St.
Where is she currently?
Currently now?
Yes.
I cannot tell because when my son disappeared, I don't know where they went. But previously, it is me who took her to Nyaburu.
Thank you. I yield the rest of the minutes to my learned friend, Mr. Njiro.
Thank you, Mr. Mutuma. Mr. Witness, I want you to have a look at the bundle of the document by the County Assembly. Honorable Senators, I'm referring to page 184. Witness, I have 7 minutes to deliver this. These are Hanson's for the 29th of August from the County Assembly. Mr. Witness, I want you to have a look at the last paragraph where Honorable Deputy Governor is answering. But before I go to that, excuse me, I have not put the question. When the Deputy Governor asked you to refund the 500,000 shillings, what did he tell you the money was meant for?
Pardon?
When he asked you to return the 500,000 shillings he had lent you, what did he tell you was meant for?
Mr. Speaker, sir, he told me that he has got some functions he was to use for that money.
He had functions. Which functions in particular?
Including that he was trying to go outside of the country.
He was going out of the country.
Correct.
So the money was specifically meant to go out of the country, yes?
Among other things.
Among other things.
Yeah.
Are those other things that you're referring to the issues that you're discussing to, and more specifically, the forwarding of the money, 100,000 shillings to one Lucy? Are you aware or you're not aware?
That one I'm not aware.
You are not aware. I want you to have a look at page 185, 189 of the same bundle. And the Deputy Governor traveled. Are you aware whether he traveled, he never traveled?
You know, Mr.
Are you aware or you're not aware?
I'm not aware.
Thank you.
Yes.
Look at page 189 of the same bundle, honorable members. The bundle by the County Assembly, volume 1. Page 185, 189, I'm sorry, beg your pardon. 189, the Hansons for the 29th.
What?
Hansons.
Wait.
Who made the request for assistance? Who made the request?
Of assistance of what?
Yes, of you to be assisted for Dennis to secure a job.
It's me, Mr. Speaker, sir.
To whom did you make it to? Did you make it to your friend, Dr. Monda, or to the Deputy Governor of Kisii County?
My friend, Dr. Monda.
Where was that job supposed to come from? From his farm, from his shop, or from the county government?
Mr. Speaker, sir.
I have asked you 2 issues. Where was the job supposed to come from?
From the county government.
Thank you. Look at paragraph where we have the Honorable Deputy Governor. Yes, can you see that? Here?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, would you read out? What's the Deputy Governor saying?
Honorable Deputy Governor.
Can you see where he's saying, Mr. Speaker, sir? Mr. Speaker, just as a good friend, yes?
Mr. Speaker, sir, as great friends, Mr. Joseph and I, somewhere in April 1st, was made to know that there is advert that has come up in the Wasco and Misati as a friend could ask me that his son has also tendered his application.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In this respect, which son is the Deputy Governor making reference to?
Dennis.
Dennis. Proceed. Can you see where my senior Mr. Kato Kigen is saying, so he requested if you could assist? Can you see?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And what does the governor say? Does he say yes, that you made the request? Can you see that?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Proceed to read. And did you talk to Lucy about the request about your friend? That's Mr. Kato Kigen asking the Deputy Governor, yes? Baron? That is my learned friend, Mr. Kato Kigen, asking the Deputy Governor whether the Deputy Governor spoke to Lucy. Can you see that?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And what was his answer?
Honorable Deputy Governor, like any other leader, Mr. Speaker, sir, this request came to me. Everyone, honorable members, know that Lucy is a Wasco, would work under like any.
Yes. Next page. Lucy would work.
Where is it?
It's possible for you not to see now.
Like any other staff who under the governor's office, where I'm also the deputy governor.
So he acknowledges that Lucy works under the governor's office and that Mr. Monda is also under the same office, yes? That's the acknowledgement, yes or no?
As it is.
Thank you, proceed. Read.
To the governor and so indicated to Lucy.
So I indicated to Lucy, yes? Asking her if they had such kind of jobs, and she said yes. And as a friend, making a request that he get his sons a job, like every one of us here would do. And she told me, let us wait for the process. If he qualifies, we shall not deny him a job. Yes? Is that the discussion?
According to this, yes.
Are you aware that the Deputy Governor, your dear friend whom you have come to defend this morning, sent 100,000 shillings to Lucy? Are you aware or you're not aware?
I'm not aware.
Would it therefore surprise you that part of the money that you sent to him that day was shared with one Lucy? Would it surprise you?
I won't be surprised.
You will not be surprised. Yeah. Thank you. Have a look at your affidavit. The affidavit appearing, that is the Deputy Governor's bundle of document. The Deputy Governor's bundle of document at page 60. Mr. Witness, are you there?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Have a look at paragraph 12 and kindly read it out.
And then I asked my wife to remit the balance of 249. I instructed her to remit the amount to my son, Dennis Misati, for him to pay.
Thank you. That is what I want us to explain. For him to do what?
To pay.
What was he paying?
The refund.
No, excuse me. Is it to refund or to pay? Do you understand English, Mr. Witness?
English is for the lawyers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You are now, I'll now teach you. And therefore,
Order, senators, order, senators.
I'll put it to you that there's a difference between the statement to pay and to refund. Yes? And therefore, because you have preserved the English for us lawyers, I'll put it to you that the two words have different meanings. Yes?
It is very difficult for me to understand.
I therefore put it to you that paying is different from refunding.
According to you, yes?
And therefore, I further put it to you that the word payment being used here is the corruption and the bribery for your son to succeed with a job, yes?
Payment is not a bribe. It will depend on which context it is.
In this context now, thank you.
That's wrong.
Let us have a look at page 111 of the same battle by DG. Page 111, which is a statement by Leah Nyachera Onsari.
Yes.
A statement from Cooperative Bank, yes?
Correct.
You are the one who has brought this document, correct?
That's it. No.
It's not you who has brought the document.
It's not me who brought this statement.
Where did it come from?
It came from Leah Onsari.
Is she a witness in these proceedings?
That one I'm not aware.
I put it to you that she is not a witness.
You have said so.
But now, Mr. Witness, Who sent this money to Leah?
It's me and my wife from the joint account.
Upon whose request?
Upon the deputy governor's request.
So the deputy governor asked you to send the 200,000 shillings, yes?
Correct.
Did you ask him what it was meant for?
That was his personal use.
So if I put it to you that your deputy governor for whom you so love is a person who has insatiable desire for resources, and that is why he's always in a begging mood, what would you say?
Mr. Speaker, sir, that is very untrue.
Thank you. No further questions.
Yeah, Council, you have, for the Deputy Governor, you have 10 minutes for the examination.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Sorry.
Yes, Senator Boni?
Speaker, my point of order is to appeal to you, and the appeal is arising from the provisions of the rules of procedure. I invite you to look at rule number 22. Mr. Speaker, I'm appealing to you that you vacate your direction that in order to accommodate the time constraints, the Council for the County Assembly should lose its opportunity to cross-examine two witnesses. 22 says, a witness presented shall be led in evidence, cross-examined, and where necessary, and only for purposes of clarification of issues that may have arisen in cross-examination may be re-examined. Mr. Speaker, with the long years of experience in this Parliament, I know that whatever decision we make here is still open to being challenged in the High Court. And there, if we are going to be found to have breached our own rules, then our very ultimate decision is open to being challenged. We are not going to die from.
So what is your point of order, Senator Boni? Are you suggesting that the witness should not be re-examined?
Yes, it looks like you are not listening to me.
Because if you read 22,
let me
that
make
is
my
what
point.
It is addressing.
This is serious, Mr. Speaker.
Rule 22 is addressing close examination. Just in case there are other issues of clarifications, the witness is
I know.
examined.
Mr. Speaker, sir, if you listen to me, you'll see where I'm going. The point I'm making is that vacate your ruling that two witnesses
Now, Senator Boni, I mean that ruling and you should really sit down. Yes,
Mr. Speaker, sir, I will not take that.
I cannot vacate my ruling. Sorry.
But that is why I'm rising to draw your attention to provisions of the rules of procedure, 22.
What you are quoting, 22, is not addressing that matter completely.
It is.
Are you challenged also in this English language?
Am I?
Let me give Senator Chalage, he is a lawyer, he is the one who practices
Mr. Speaker,
Senator Boni, have your seat, kindly.
Okay. Two senators
Senator Boni Karwale. Senator Boni Karwale, resume your seat. I want you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. We are cautioned because the Bible says, Mr. Speaker, we should not serve the law. The law should serve us. In our ruling number 30 of the same, on the procedures, you have the power to determine on a particular question, but not limited to question of evidence, materiality, relevance, competency, or admissibility of evidence, and any question consequential or is entitled to error. So, Mr. Speaker, your ruling is Solomonic, and it should not be vacated. In any case, the traditional precedent, the issue raised by my brother, Senate Majority Whip, is overtaken by events. That matter is stopped from being discussed, Mr. Speaker, and therefore I request that we proceed as you are directed, Mr. Speaker.
Let's proceed now, kindly, Senator Sifuna. On 1 minute.
One point, I wanted to calm the nerves of my senior, Honorable Khalwale, that far from the big words that Senator Cherargei wants to use, he has actually not shed any light on the issue. I wanted to calm his anxiety by explaining that if a party has chosen to waive their right to cross-examination, there really is no problem. So it is them who have requested to waive that right to cross-examine those two, not under pressure, so that they can focus their attention on other witnesses they believe would better advance the argument. So, Mr. Speaker, you are just okay. You are struggling, but you are okay.
Now you are out of order, Senator Sifuna. Senator Sifuna, you are out of order. Can you withdraw that last point? Can you withdraw?
Speaker, it was with a light note, but I withdraw and apologize. You are a man of substance.
Council, let's proceed. 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I trust my 10 minutes start running now.
From now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Joseph Misati.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
A number of questions were put to you, whether you defend the DG whatever he wants, that you act on his instructions, and that you do anything. And the question I want to ask you directly is, would you go out of your way to defend the truth, or you would go out of your way to defend? What are you defending today? Is it the truth or the Deputy Governor?
The truth, Mr. Speaker, sir.
You are standing for the truth.
That's it, Mr. Speaker,
Okay.
sir.
And all you said is based on your truth.
Pardon?
What you are standing on is what you believe to have been the true position.
My true position in this case...
Asema, just confirm that what you said is based on what you know to be the truth. It has nothing to do with whether or not you want to help the Deputy Governor, isn't it?
That's it, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Now, the second issue I want to put to you is you were asked by my colleagues whether the Deputy Governor made to you a promise that your son would get a job. And I want you to just confirm that for emphasis. Did he make any promise to you?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
The questions were also put to you. Did you know what or how what you do or how you do what you wanted to do to assist your son get a job? Did you know?
No.
You didn't know. Did he promise to use his position to get a job for your son?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay. Move on to another question. You asked whether you usually make visits to the Deputy Governor with your sons. And what is your answer?
Correct, that's true.
You normally visited?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, you asked, Dennis said yesterday that that was the first time he had gone to the Deputy Governor's house. That's what he said. Do you have an explanation for that proposition?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir. As it is said that my son, Dennis Misati, it was his first time to go with him to Deputy Governor.
Mr. Speaker, we want to object to that line because it never came out during cross-examination. During cross-examination, the witness must be tailored to answer the questions that have come from cross-examination. He cannot introduce a new ground that we never dealt with in cross-examination. He is re-examining the witness.
Mr. Speaker, sir, all I am doing is reacting to the proposition that was put to the witness as to whether he normally goes with his sons to visit the Deputy Governor, or otherwise whether that was the first time and distinguishes the rest of the visits. And so I'm just making the point as to whether or not indeed he has been visiting, and if Dennis was making the first visit as opposed to the other sons, what is the explanation? That's all I'm doing, Mr. Speaker, sir. I pray that you...
Just stick to that lane.
Yes, thank you very much.
You have a lot of experience.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I don't want you to be very verbose. Could you just answer the question? Why was it that Dennis was going there for the first time that day?
Mr. Speaker, sir, earlier I stated that my son has been away from, he has been in Nairobi for more than 13 years.
So the reason why you had not gone with him is because he has been away from Kisii in the neighborhood of the visit, isn't it?
Correct, Mr. Speaker,
Okay,
sir.
I would like to move on. You've been asked why you chose Dennis to receive the M-Pesa as opposed to Jared, whom you have always worked with. What is your answer to that? Why did you choose Dennis?
Mr. Speaker, sir, when you have got a number of children, you must balance in how you can love them. In that context, you can see that Jared is the person who has been driving me. Here is Dennis who has come. Because of that, I want just to show Dennis that I love him by sending that money. In other words, not loving because I sent the money. It is just to indicate that I must balance in my love towards my sons.
So you are showing love and trust, that you trust all of them?
I trust all of them.
And you love them, all of them?
And I love them equally.
And you continue to do that?
That's it, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Now, you were taken to task on the contents of paragraph 24 of your affidavit, and I would like you to look at that. If you remember again, your affidavit is at page 59, and I would like you to go to, I would like us to visit paragraph 24. Are you there?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Now, an issue was taken on the point you make that, and especially fees for his child, and I personally paid. You've seen that?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
What did you mean by saying you personally paid?
Personally, it means from my pocket to any other.
So your point is that the money that was paid, was used to pay your grandchild's fees was yours?
It was mine, that's what I mean.
And how was the money transmitted? How was it remitted to the school account?
I gave one of my sons to one that remitted the money.
So one of your sons went. But in the meantime, whose money was that son of yours taking?
One of my sons, Dennis.
Saying, so you've given your son to go and pay in the account of the school, isn't it?
Yes.
Whose money was your son carrying?
My money.
Yeah, okay. Now, I would like to move on to page 189 of the county government's bundle. And that is the Hansard, and particularly I would like us to look at page 190 of that Hansard.
Yeah.
Paragraph. Now, I would like could you confirm that it is not you, but rather is the deputy governor talking, starting from page? Could you confirm that it is the deputy governor talking from page 189 into 190, the paragraph that was read to you? Is it you or it is deputy governor talking?
It is the deputy governor, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay, and can you answer for the words of the deputy governor, or it is for the deputy governor to answer for
That's
himself?
why I was unable.
Yes, it is for him to answer. Now, I would like us to read the last sentence of the deputy governor's statement, running from page 189 to 190. Could you read this last paragraph? And she told me?
And she told me, let us wait for the process, and if he qualifies, he shall not deny him the job. And the discussion ended there.
So the deputy governor is saying he talked to the managing director of the water company, and the managing director of the water company said, we await the process, and if he qualifies, we will not deny him.
As it is here?
Yes, it is there. Now, I want to take you back to, this is my last question, I want to take you back to the 28th, when you met. Wakati mulikuwa mnaongea kwa nyumba.
28.
Did you say 28th of May? Did you say, and I'm quoting the words you used, don't, I'm just reminding you what you said a few minutes ago. Did you say that the deputy governor told you there are factors that exist to get a job?
That's correct.
He said there are factors. There are factors, kuna vitu zenye zinahitajika ndio upate kazi.
Correct, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Is that consistent with what we've just read at page 190 of the Hansard?
That's it.
That the director said it depends on whether he qualifies.
Those are the factors, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to leave my re-examination there. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir.
you done, counsel, with the witness?
Yes, I'm done, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So for this particular witness, I want to give a few senators to seek clarification. My dashboard is full, so I'm kindly requesting whether we can agree, we do it 4-4, both sides, so that we can make progress. We start with Senator Oroba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to Joseph. You said you have 6 sons. You have 6 sons, yes?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And your wife is the biological mother to all of these 6 sons.
Ask through the speaker so that he can respond to you. You know you.
Okay. That is one of my questions. I'd like to know if your wife, who you're referencing, is the biological mother to all of the 6 sons, including Dennis. And my next question, Mr. Speaker, goes to Senior Counsel. Senior Counsel, I don't know whether you are conversant with Article 76 of our Constitution. In reference to page 61 of the DG's volume, page 61, from paragraph 24, 25, and 26, where we have been subjected to this relationship of 2 personal friends who are giving favors to each other in form of soft loans. My question to Senior Counsel in relevance to Article 76, where it highlights that a public officer should not use his office in any manner, particularly financial sense, on soft loans to erode the public confidence in favor of a personal interest. Would you agree with me that from what you have showcased here, particularly page 61, 24, 25, and 26, that the Deputy Governor has actually gone against Article 76 of the Constitution? And finally, the last one, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of the money being transferred, my question is, why didn't the Deputy Governor just withdraw the cash and refund directly?
Oloba, you are 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes, continue. There are 2 questions. One to the counsel, the other one to the witness.
Mr. Speaker, sir, as it has been raised, Dennis Misati is biological father.
So let us not introduce new things which were not in the, some relevance which were not on the presentations. So I want you to avoid about those biological issues you have been asked to do. Yeah, because they did not arise, because they are seeking clarifications. No. Proceed with answer any relevant question that you have been asked. But about the children and whether they are biological, no.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you very much to have saved me that way. It's only that to bring who's the mother, who's the father.
The second question was directed at me in terms of the provisions of Article 76 of the Constitution and the need for propriety of conduct by. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, sir, can I proceed? Thank you very much. In terms of the question as to whether the Deputy Governor conducted himself properly within the intention of Article 76, our answer is that he completely conducted himself properly. It is our understanding, first of all, we are not making an admission that this money was meant to to make any influence. It was a mere refund. It is our position that borrowings between friends is not prohibited by Article 76. It is our position also that if it were to have been the case that it was meant to be a bribe, yes, that's when you can invoke Article 76. But our position is that it was not a bribe, it was a friendly loan between the two of them, and it was a refund that was happening on the 28th of May. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Let's have Senator Wambua Enoch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Speaker, I have three straight questions to the witness.
Take your 2 minutes.
Yes. One, Mr. Witness, what was the role of your sons in your visit to the DG's home? Because they have accompanied you, they have stayed away from you, and you've gone back, they have not even heard what you have discussed. What was their role in that visit? Secondly, to the best of your knowledge, is there a personal relationship between your son Dennis and the DG? And when you are sending him money, allegedly, to send to the DG, did you also give him the DG's cell phone number? Number three, is it your evidence on record and on oath that your son has cooked up a story to malign a person that he has no personal relationship with? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Witness.
Mr. Speaker, sir, for the love of my children, I usually move with them when they are at home or when they are in the weekend together when we want to visit any other friend. Number two,
Get the other questions. So Senator Zeta has avoided so many questions to the witness because
the second one was what?
No, maybe you can write down even one word so that you remember. But the assistant there can be able to assist. Not necessarily the counsel, but the assistant who is standing by the witness can just record what has been asked. Yes, Senator Wambua.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I also want you to guide us in this proceeding, whether it is actually right for the counsel to coach the witness when we seek clarification from him.
What I've directed is that the assistant, the counsel's assistant, to note what the senator is asking so that you can give to the witness. That is why you are standing beside him to support him on any material that he is asked to do.
And for avoidance of doubt, Mr. Speaker, I wasn't guiding him. I was just reminding him what the second question was, being whether there's a relationship with the deputy governor.
Can you ask the second question?
It is perhaps the most important. To the best of your knowledge, is there a personal relationship between your son, Dennis, and the DG, and when you are giving him, when he was being given the money to send to the DG, was he also given the cell phone number of the DG?
Yes, proceed and answer that question.
Mr. Speaker, sir, through me, all my sons, including Dennis, we have got relationship with the DG. Number two, the man which was sent to my son, Dennis Misati, to forward it to His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, it's me who gave him his number, the deputy's number.
Okay, that's okay. No, he has answered that. He gave you had 4 questions. Which other one? And let us just do 2 questions with the 2 minutes. Because we cannot restrict 2 minutes to the senators.
But Speaker, how you deal with your 2 minutes is your problem. If I can ask 20 questions in 2 minutes.
What I mean is that if we give the senators 2 minutes,
yes,
then the witness 20 minutes.
So if there's a problem with the witness answering questions, that is not my problem.
So kindly ask your last one.
The last question was that whether it is your evidence on record and on oath that your son, Dennis, has actually cooked up a story to malign a person that he has no personal relationship with, in the name and character of the DG.
Mr. Speaker, sir, according what His Honorable Senator has said, and if I can also summarize what's going on, my son was lured, intoxicated with some of the people to use him to fail the deputy governor. And that's why my son, after I paid school fees, he stayed at home for 3 to 4 days, and the vehicle came to collect him. Where they went with his wife, I cannot tell up to now.
Next is Senator Mohamed Chute Said.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I have 2 quick questions for Mr. Misati. My first question is, do you have, if he has any documentary evidence that shows that he has borrowed the money from the deputy governor, the 600,000? My number 2 question is there any contribution from his son, Dennis, in regards to the payment of the 600,000 shillings paid to the deputy governor? Thank you very much.
Okay, witness, respond.
What was the second? Mr. Speaker, sir, as usual, for friends, unless that much or money is a loan, in most cases, Mr. Speaker, sir, I don't have any evidence as he gave me the money because of the trust.
Second one, the second question.
What? Okay, Mr. Speaker, sir, I think I've not gotten the second question. It will be easier for me.
Give Senator Chute the mic, kindly. Give Senator Chute the mic.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The question goes to the witness. I'm asking the witness if there are any contribution that was made from his son, Dennis, in regards to the payment of the 600,000 shillings paid in form of M-Pesa or cash to His Excellency, the Deputy Governor. Thank you very much.
Yes, proceed and answer.
Mr. Speaker, sir, they said 600,000. It was never sent from me to the DG. It was the DG who sent me that money to me. Therefore, Dennis' contribution is not there.
Senator Sifuna Edwin.
500.
Mr. Speaker, I was really looking forward to an explanation from the witness as to why it was necessary for the money that was sent from Dennis to be sent by Dennis, because it went from the mother to Dennis to the DG. If indeed it was a debt, it would have been sent direct either by him to the DG or the mother to the DG. But he has made something very curious comment that it was for his own financial management. That is what I want him to clarify for me, because it doesn't make financial sense for money to move through those 3 stages incurring transfer charges. What do you mean by your own financial management? Because it was a direct transaction. You should just have told your wife, send to the DG. I want to understand that explanation that you gave witness.
Mr. Speaker, sir, if I can go back, I think I was asked, since I had more than 500 in my account, why I never sent the money in whole, the 500,000. And that's why I mentioned that I have what my financial management, that if I move from here, the other bag is this side. In connection, why the money was never sent direct from my wife to reach M-Pesa is this. My wife doesn't have the number of the DG. That's why
give the witness time to answer the question, kindly.
That's why, Mr.
Continue
Speaker,
answering.
sir.
Answer.
That's why, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Answer. Are you through with your answer?
Continue?
Are you done? Yes, proceed.
Yeah. And that's why I instructed my wife to send the money to my son, Dennis, so that we can continue with other processes.
No, but you are on the queue. You're on the queue. On the same, a follow-up question.
Just one clarification, Speaker, so that we don't lose that train of thought, because the witness says that the wife could not send the money to the deputy governor because the wife didn't have the number. But I also recall that he has said that Dennis himself did not also have the number of the deputy governor. So he had also to send the number to Dennis. Why was it then difficult for him not to send to, it was easy to send to Dennis and very difficult to send to the wife. So just that one.
Senator Medu, are you asking me or the witness? Okay, witness, proceed.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir. You know, every person has what his own ways how he operates. And that is the best way I operate it.
Okay, thank you. Let us, Senator, order, senators, order, senators. Next is Senator Cheptuma William.
Mr. Speaker, I have only one question. That the witness went to visit the DG with his sons. And Mr. Speaker, from the evidence, the sons sat far from where the DG and the witness were conversing. I want the witness to confirm to this House that there was no discussion at all about the support of the DG to secure a job for Dennis.
May I proceed, witness? Answer that question from Senator William Cheptumo.
Mr. Speaker, sir, kindly and humbly come again.
Senator Cheptumo, frame your question in a way that you think he can understand faster.
Okay, Mr. Speaker. Okay, let me say, Mr. Speaker, but the question I want to I want to ask the witness is that yesterday, Dennis confirmed that he accompanied him to the DG's house. And today again, the witness confirmed that he visited the deputy governor with his sons. And confirms that the sons were sitting far from the two, that is the deputy governor and him. My question to the witness is to confirm to this house that you did not discuss anything about the support of the deputy governor to secure your son, Dennis, employment in the county government. Is that clear now? I believe so.
Very clear, Mr. Speaker, sir. In our social discussions, including the refund of the 500,000 and a request, like any other person, that my son had applied for the job of WASCO and the commercial manager, I just conversed with the DG about the same issue.
Senator Maruma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's just about the visit of Mr. Misati and the sons to the DG. Yesterday, I thought that the sons were kept away from the DG and Mr. Misati because the sons were not familiar with the DG. But when Mr. Misati was answering the question by Senator Wambua, he said that my sons are familiar to the DG. So my question would be, why were the sons kept away from the discussion between Mr. Misati and the DG, and yet they're familiar? What were they cooking? What are they asking? Thank you, Chair.
And senators, I can see a trend that some of the senators are trying to jump the queue. Doing a follow-up of the question, that is, you are now becoming more technical, but you can answer that one. Answer that question.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the senator has said that yesterday my son Dennis indicated that there is no familiarity with the deputy governor. And today I've said that we are very familiar with the family of Dr. Monda. And by indicating that if we were, or if we are familiar, why was it that I was seated far from my own sons if there was anything cooking? Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg and to say there are some things when you have got some discussions, you cannot include your sons. And there was nothing was cooking.
Okay, Senator Sige, again.
Thank you, Speaker. My first question to the witness is, there's a lot of information that differs from the affidavit you gave under oath then with the information that you're giving under oath today. So my first question is, were you lying then or are you lying now? My second question is, In the evidence you gave about the transaction on the 28th of last year, the 28th of May, you say that the reason your wife sent the money to your son is so that Dennis can run to an M-Pesa point and withdraw because the DG requested for cash. Now, at the beginning of your testimony, when you're being introduced, your counsel asked you to tell us what you do. You said that you own an M-Pesa business. My second question is, why would you say that your son did not find any M-Pesa branches open to withdraw the cash, and that's why he sent it through the phone, when you own your own M-Pesa business, which you could have withdrawn from there through your son? And my last question is, Mr. Speaker, I want the witness to agree with me that the DG has higher financial capacity than he has for several years within their friendship. He has earned more than Mr. Joseph. So my question is, are you giving testimony that may differ between your affidavit and today because you might be weary of the well running dry in terms of the favors that you receive, financial favors from the DG through your long-term friendship? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Witness.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, sir, the first question, although I never got them all, the senator said whether I were lying or I'm lying today. That's no. The second question, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Senator, she has said that if I am operating the M-Pesa, why didn't I send the money direct to the DG? One, my M-Pesa balance by that time had no such balance. Two, because the DG wanted money in cash, that's why I opted the money to be sent to my son Dennis so that we can go to the nearest shop to withdraw, but unfortunately, we found that the shops had closed.
Have you answered the three questions?
The third one, it went out of my... The third one, please.
Speaker, the third question that I asked is for the witness to agree that the DG has more financial capacity in terms of earnings and has had so for a long time in their friendship. And therefore, is he concerned that without his testimony today, trying to help the DG remain in office, that the well will run dry in terms of the favors, financial favors that the DG has afforded to the witness in the past?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Honorable Senator, it will depend, as you are all here. It doesn't mean that when you are a senator or you are a DG, you have got a lot of money. Most people, they always operate on loans. If there is any person if there is any person I know that is struggling on financial crisis, is my friend DG.
Yes, next is Senator Tabitha Mutinda.
Asante Bwana Spika. Bwana Misati, Waswahili walisema ujuaye uchungu wa mwana ni mzazi. Na walimba wakasema mtoto si nguo utanunua, utaomba mtu. Asante. Niulize leo ndugu yangu, nini hicho kilifanya mwana wako Dennis ambaye ameishi miaka 13 Nairobi aweze kuuza ile biashara yake na kuletee zile fedha? Swali la pili, katika ile biashara yako ya M-Pesa, katika zile transaction inaonekana ya kwamba ulituma zile 251 kutumia simu yako ya rununu. Nini hiyo ilifanya zile pesa zilizobakia zile 1249 ziwe lazima zipeane katika kitita cha cash? Asante Bwana Speaker. Pesa taslim.
Yes, Mr. Witness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Nafikiri umeelewa Kiswahili vizuri.
Hiyo.
Haya, endelea ujibu.
Yeah, I've gotten the message. In the question of amesema ya kwamba, if I cannot translate that one, the person who knows the business of the child is who? Ni mzazi. And I've indicated very clearly and stated earlier that my son has been away for the last 13 years and above. Okay? Even during that time, although there was rare communications, I used to send him some money for his upkeep, even if I don't have the documents to support that. And by saying that he sold his own saloon, as indicated, that one I can say he had no saloon.
Witness, kindly answer the questions that you have been asked by the Honorable Senator. Within a minute, just answer the question directly without circumventing a lot of explanations. But it is just a direct question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Then, if it's alleged that he sold his goods or his saloon, where he took the money, I don't know. Question number 2. What is it?
Mr. Witness, that question was never asked by the Senator. Can you repeat your question for record purposes?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me just use the English language and just ask Mr. Musati the reason as to why your son sold his business in Nairobi, the salon business. But I think, Mr. Speaker, he's also answering and saying the son did not have any salon business. Let me take the answer like that. And so maybe you can answer the second question, Mr. Musati.
Ask it.
Refresh the question, please.
Yeah, my second question, Mr. Musati, was the first transaction that you sent to the DG was 251 in M-Pesa. And how comes you had to to give the DG cash, the 249 that your son had to run around to look for money to be able to give it cash, yet the first batch was given on M-Pesa? What was wrong in still sending the 249 via M-Pesa? And you had said that politicians do not have money. Is it the case that your good friend was looking for money from you?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. In our discussions, when we were together with DG, I told him that I've got some money from my account, which was, I remitted that money 70 times 3 plus 41, which came up to 251,000. In our discussion now, according to what the DG conversed to me, he told me that he needs some cash. And then that's why I instructed my wife to send it to Dennis so that we can look a way how we can encash that money from any nearest M-Pesa.
Senator Muhaji Mohammed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to refer the witness to page, page 65 of the bundle, the DG's bundle. I see you transferred 70,000, another 70,000, another 70,000 on the same 28th. And you had a handsome balance in the account. Why didn't you transfer the whole 500,000 that evening through your account? Number two, you said this debt which you are paying to Mr. Monda was contracted in the year 2022. Or isn't that so? When,
Yes,
when was your last time you visited Mr. Monda before he went to his house on 28th of May, 2023? Thank you.
Answer the two questions.
The two questions, okay, the first loan, sorry, the whole amount. Why I never sent the whole amount? Because I had a balance of more than 1 million. And I think, Honorable Speaker, I indicated very clearly that the much money I wanted to withdraw from my account was 251 reasons for financial management. The other money, which was in my wife's M-Pesa, is the one I wanted to send to my son, then to encash it.